Hey SoilPower friends, have you ever planted your favorite seeds, tended to them with care, only to watch them struggle in soil that just won't come to life? You water, fertilize, and wait, but the results are disappointing. Thin sprouts, yellowing leaves, and tired soil that seems to reject life itself. The truth is, what many of us call soil has lost its very soul. Beneath our gardens lies what's often little more than dust, lifeless dirt stripped of the microbial community that makes real soil thrive. But here's the good news: you don't need expensive fertilizers or chemical boosters to bring it back. What you do need is something far simpler and much older. It's a collection of ancient living liquids that farmers across Asia, Africa, and South America used centuries before synthetic fertilizers even existed. These microbial tonics are easy to make, entirely natural and powerful enough to turn dead soil into living earth again. Let's explore how you can use these age-old brews, starting with what's already sitting in your kitchen. Over the past century, industrial agriculture has focused on feeding plants directly, with nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, commonly known as NPK. But here's the catch: those nutrients are like fast food for plants. They give quick results but starve the ecosystem that keeps soil alive. Healthy soil isn't just particles of sand, silt, and clay. It's an entire underground world, a microscopic city buzzing with bacteria, fungi, protozoa, and nematodes. These living organisms build humus, unlock minerals, and create tiny tunnels that let roots breathe. When we flood the ground with synthetic fertilizers, we bypass this natural cycle. Over time, the biology dies, leaving behind hard, compacted dirt that can't hold water or nutrients. If you've ever noticed your soil crusting over or cracking after rain, that's the sign it's alive no longer. But here's the powerful truth: you can bring it back. One of the simplest ways to start reviving your soil is with something as humble as uncooked rice. Yes, the same rice you might be cooking for dinner tonight. When you rinse uncooked rice, that cloudy water you pour off is full of starch and natural lactic acid bacteria, tiny helpers that can restore balance in your soil. These microbes are the same ones used in yogurt and fermentation, but in your garden, they become the first wave of soil healers. Here's how to make it. Rinse 1 cup of uncooked rice in about 2 to 3 cups of clean water. Don't scrub it clean. The goal here is just to release those starches. Next, pour that cloudy liquid into a clean jar, cover it loosely, and leave it at room temperature for about 2 to 3 days. During that time, the lactic acid bacteria will multiply. You'll know it's ready when it smells a little sour and you see a thin film forming right on top. Once it's fermented, dilute 1 part of this liquid in 10 parts water and pour it directly around your plants. It works fast, jump-starting decomposition, feeding beneficial fungi, and suppressing disease-causing microbes. If your soil is, well, pretty lifeless, try doing this once every 2 weeks for a month. You'll notice the difference in how the soil feels: softer, richer, and more alive beneath your hands. If you want to take it up a notch, it's time to try fermented plant juice, or FPJ, a living tonic that captures the energy and vitality of growing plants. Traditional farmers in Korea, Japan, and South America have used this method for generations. The idea is simple: young, fast-growing plants are bursting with enzymes, hormones, and minerals. When you ferment them, those compounds become available to both soil microbes and your plants. To make it, gather about 1 kilogram of green material, young comfrey leaves, grass clippings, or even weeds like nettle. Chop them finely, then mix with 500 grams of brown sugar or molasses. The sugar draws out the plant juices while feeding the good bacteria that will handle the fermentation. Press the mixture into a jar, cover it with a breathable cloth, and let it sit for 5 to 7 days. What you'll end up with is a dark, sweet-smelling liquid packed with natural growth hormones and amino acids. Dilute 1 part of this fermented juice with 20 parts water and apply it either as a soil drench or foliar spray. The result? Stronger leaves, thicker stems, more earthworms, and, visibly, healthier soil. FPJ isn't just a fertilizer, it's a microbial celebration that reawakens your garden from within. If you've been gardening for a while, you've probably heard of compost tea, but when made right, it's not just compost in water, it's a living ecosystem in a bucket. Start with a kilogram of mature compost, dark, crumbly, and rich smelling. Place it inside a mesh bag or pillowcase and submerge it in about 20 liters of clean water. To feed the microbes, add a tablespoon of molasses. Now here's the key, keep the mixture aerated. Use an aquarium pump with an air stone to bubble air through the water for 24 to 36 hours. By the end, you'll have a foamy, earthy-smelling liquid full of bacteria, fungi, protozoa, and beneficial nematodes. Pour this tea directly around your plants or spray it on leaves. The microbes will form a protective layer that prevents pathogens from establishing themselves, while feeding your soil biology at the same time. Compost tea brings incredible diversity to your garden's microbial life, and diversity is the real key to soil resilience. When you use these ancient liquids consistently, your soil starts to rebuild its own structure naturally. The microbes release glomalin, a sticky protein that binds soil particles into aggregates, giving that prized crumbly texture every gardener dreams of. Those aggregates create tiny air pockets and water pathways that roots can easily explore. Water retention improves dramatically, erosion decreases, and roots breathe freely again. Over time, the decaying organic matter transforms into humus, the stable carbon base that keeps soil fertile for years. The more life your soil holds, the less you'll need to add. Nutrients become naturally available, pest problems decrease, and watering becomes less frequent. It's not magic, it's the ecosystem doing what it was designed to do, finally set free. When I first started experimenting with these brews for SoilPower, I was skeptical. Could something so simple really replace fertilizers? But after a few weeks of using rice wash and compost tea, my compacted grayish soil turned dark, soft, and fragrant. The difference was undeniable. The plants responded almost instantly. Tomatoes stood taller, herbs doubled in fragrance, and even stubborn patches where nothing grew before came alive. That's when I realized, these ancient methods aren't just alternatives. They're the real foundation of soil health. It's a shift in mindset. Instead of feeding plants, you're feeding the soil, and when you take care of the soil, the plants take care of themselves. Whether you're a beginner just dipping your hands into the dirt or an experienced grower looking to go chemical-free, these microbial liquids are your most powerful allies. Start small. Maybe this week you try the rice wash. Next month, experiment with fermented plant juice. Over time, you'll notice not only better plant growth but also a deeper connection to the soil itself, a living, breathing partner in your gardening journey. That's what SoilPower is all about, reviving the life beneath your feet. If this guide inspired you, don't let it stop here. Subscribe to SoilPower on YouTube for more practical science-backed ways to rebuild your soil naturally. Every video dives deeper into the living world beneath our gardens, with real experiments, results, and tips you can use right away. And if you know another gardener struggling with dead, compacted soil, share this article with them. Together we can bring back the kind of soil that feeds not just our plants, but the planet. Let's grow soil, not just gardens.